Kia ora everybody and happy Easter and welcome back to our kitchen. Today we're going to be using up our leftover hot cross buns. Okay, now I'm sure there's going to be some of you out there that have got leftover buns from Easter, and so we're going to be reusing theirs and making them into a bread and butter pudding. So I've got my eggs here and my milk, which I've started to whisk up, and I've also added a little bit of vanilla and my sugar to it. Now the recipe is going to be up, the recipe tile will be up at the same time. We'll put this up tonight, and I'm going to get everything ready. Now I've split the buns and I have liberally, generously put on some butter. Okay, now I can hear some of you out there going, yeah, so much butter, but it really does add to the taste, it really does. So I'm going to also jam some of these. I got some, made some homemade apricot jam, and I've hidden it from my teenage kids or from my older kids so that they won't take it home to their place. And I'm just going to pop it onto some of them. And you don't have to be fussy with this, and you don't have to be tidy either, because it's not going to matter. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on some of them, half of them. That'll do, half of them. So let me whisk up my butter, my milk and my eggs and get this ready, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Okay. Right, that's all done and we're ready to go. So what I've done is I've started to put these into a bowl, and so I'm just going to arrange them, no particular manner, and I'm going to stuff them in here. I should be able to stick them all down. I'm going to stick a couple down the side too. If you want to arrange it and make it look beautiful, that's great. You go for gold. I figure that when it's all cooked and all the rest of it, it won't matter too much what it looks like. It's more what it tastes like. Right. So now that I've got all these in here, and I really have jammed them in there, I'm going to put over, I'll take that in from I'm going to just pour over my milk. And I'm going to make sure that it's going to soak through with all that bread. Okay, don't forget to give it a wee mix down the bottom to get the last of that sugar. And I am going to squish it down and let it soak up all that milk. And then when I've done that, I'm going to add the last couple of buns to it. Okay, so everything's sort of floating. So give me a few minutes to do that, and then I'll show you what that looks like. It took me a little bit to squish those in there, and some of them were really crunchy. So what I've done is I broke them up a little bit more, and I'm going to wipe the sides over here, because when we bake it, we don't want it to be too labour intensive when we have to clean, do we? Nobody wants to do that. And I've squished it all in, and I've made sure that I've soaked them down so that most of that, the milk and the eggs, is all soaked up. It's really important, because that becomes a custard, and that's the thing that makes it really beautiful. So I've just used my spoon. Hang on. Now I'm going to add just a teaspoon, a little bit of cinnamon on top. Okay, just to make it taste good. Now you can add this or you can't. Don't just leave it out, one or the other, whatever you want. It's up to you. Just adapt the recipe. Alright, that'll do. And I've also got some orange here, and I used a bit of the rind today when I was making something with the kids. And I'm just going to put that on top and squish it down, because we don't want the burnt bits of orange on top. Okay, and again, that's just for flavour, and that's just my preference. Do you? Right. Again, I'm going to use that spoon and I'm going to squish it down, and that is pretty much ready for the oven. So I've got the oven at 180 degrees, you knew that, didn't you? Fair bake. And I'm going to let that cook, and I'm not sure how long it cooks for. It's a surprise. I'll let you know when it's done. So I'll see you soon. Okay, the buzzer's just gone off. It's just been half an hour, or just over half an hour, and it's ready to come out. So let's go and have a look, eh? Check that out. Look at that. That is beautiful. And that is our hot cross bun bread and butter pudding. Now, I was sitting there wondering why it was so hard to get everything into here. It was because I should have mixed my eggs in this bowl, and this was my oven dish that I had my eggs and my milk in. So gratefully this didn't explode everywhere and it wasn't a total mess. It worked. So this is our dessert for tonight. How easy was that? Super, super easy. So you can do this, you can adapt if you don't want to use hot cross buns and just use plain bread. The recipe that I've got up is just for bread, plain bread, but this is done with hot cross buns. So I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys take care of each other. It is autumn and there's lots and lots of fruit around, so this is a perfect time to either chuck it in the deep freeze or to make jam or to bottle it. So and if you aren't going to do that, then share it with your neighbours or share it with people that you know might need it. There's lots of pātaka kai cupboards out there. They're cupboards for people to put in extra food or excess food. Fill one of those up. Pop some of your fruit and some of your excess veg and things like that in there. It always helps with families that are struggling a bit. So anyway, I hope you're well, take care, and we shall see you soon. Ka kite anō.